Hey guys, it's Eris Morn's Third Eye, and today I wanted to talk about Season of Arrivals and if it's worth getting. Let's first start by talking about the early game. In the early game of Season of Arrivals, you have things such as contact events, interference missions, prismatic recaster, and exotics, right? Uh, with the contact public events, it's pretty much like Gambit, but in a PvE form, right? You're killing enemies and you're depositing the motes at the little Gambit mote depositor, which is a really sick idea in theory. I think it goes really well. For some reason, a lot of people don't like it, but I thought it was a pretty well thought out way to end all the sunsetted planets public events. Honestly, I can't stress how good of an idea this is, right? And not only this, it lets you farm something called Umbral Engrams. Now, you probably have been getting a lot of Umbral Engrams, and yes, you can do this as a free to play player, but I still wanted to cover it anyways just to give you the whole story, right? Secondly, we have the Interference Weekly Quest. Each week, you can go do this quest by doing contact events and then a bunch of other stuff, and you'll get access to more story, specifically about the Darkness and Savathun and what she is up to, right? You're pretty much decoding the Darkness's messages, which I'm sure everyone will assume it's leading up to Europa, right? And then you have the Prismatic Recaster. This is pretty much God Roll Simulator, guys. Let me tell you. You could put one dildo in and get 5 dildos back out. It's crazy how good this is. This alone might honestly be worth saying get the season, right? You can literally farm a God Roll Gnawing Hunger, a God Roll Aquila Snipe, a God Roll Achilles SMG, a God Roll Behringer's Memory, right? There are just so many weapons you can farm from this that just make it overall worth it, right? Next up, let's talk about our exotics. Let's talk about our exotics. We're not going to go specifically into the quest in this section, but we will talk about Witherhoard, Ruinous Effigy, Traveler's Chosen, like what they are and what they do. So, in order to obtain Witherhoard, you get it through the season pass by hitting, I think, level 5 or something, level 10. It's a really good entry level special grenade launcher. It's for PvE, it's pretty much taking the place of Mountaintop if you want to use that exotic slot. I think it's personally worth getting the Catalyst for. The Catalyst gives it auto-loading holster and something else. I can't remember. But it's really, really good. Very good. I really do recommend checking it out if you can get it. It's definitely worth the time to play around with. Next up, we have Ruinous Effigy. For those of you who know me, you'd know Prometheus Lens is my favorite weapon, and I just love trace rifles in general. Ruinous Effigy is a great addition to the trace rifle family, and I think, honestly, it's worth getting, right? It's a very good solo PvE weapon, right? You could see Esoteric and I think Slayerage solo Whisper of the Worm with only Ruinous Effigy. It's crazy how good that weapon is. It's very slept on, right? And next up, we have Traveler's Chosen. What is there to say about Traveler's Chosen other than it's the best sidearm in the game, right? It gives you a whole bunch of utility. It gives you a whole bunch of actual just fuck dipshittery. I don't know what you want to call it. It fucks people's shit up. It's insane how good this weapon is. It lets you play around with a lot of different builds. A friend of mine, Hoplite, she managed to get Solo Cali with Traveler's Chosen. It's actually insane what you can do with this weapon, and that alone is why I would say it's worth doing this season, right? Now let's talk about the mid game a little bit, and we'll go a little bit more in depth, not talk each step quest or each quest step, but we're gonna go ahead and talk about the Ruinous Effigy quest line. Essentially, what you do is you go and to the Prismatic Recaster. He tells you to do a whole bunch of stuff. You do it, and you get the gun. It's very easy. It's very fast. You can do this by yourself. And on top of that, you have the Catalyst. The Catalyst is really sick. Pretty much it lets you get more health when you're guarding with the little orb that it drops. And it's a little fun side quest line. Either you can get 5,000 kills, or you can break, I think, 10 Savathun eyes, or 20 maybe, out of 50 in order to get the Catalyst. It's a really cool idea. to sort of separate the PvE and PvP side of things, and I think they should honestly do more of that kind of thing. Now onto the evacuation quest line. This is pretty much the meat and bones of this season, right? It's pretty much akin to like the Seraph Towers from Season of Worthy, right? Where you have this giant quest leading up to the Almighty's End. This is essentially what the evacuation quest line is, right? You get to go to each planet and you get to help Asher Brother Vance, Anna Bray, and I can't remember, Sloan. You get to help those 4 people pack up and leave the planet. I'm not going to spoil the quest line. I really think everyone should do it. You get every single strike weapon, strike exclusive weapon, excluding like Dreaming City gear. I don't know why they didn't throw that in, but you get Mindbenders, you get Duty Bound, you get Malicious Birthright, DFA, one more I'm forgetting. It's eluding me. I'll probably think of it later and then be like, damn, I'm a fucking idiot for not including it in the video. But here we are. Not only does it give the best sidearm in the game, which is Traveler's Chosen, that's how you get the actual weapon itself, it also gives you more lore. The only downside to it is kind of long, right? There was a lot of preparation for it in the early season, and then because the season got delayed, they honestly just pushed it back really far. So all in all, if you want to do that quest line, probably 5 to 7 hours, I would say, right? Because it took me and my group about 2 to 3 hours to complete it alone, right? And next up, this is everyone's favorite light level grinding. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, light level grinding, baby. Who doesn't love that? No, but in all honesty, it's really boring and it's an outdated system. I don't know what else I can say on that. That's going to be in every season, though, until they rework it. So let's go ahead and talk about the late game. The late game is probably the more interesting part of this, like, actual season, especially compared to most others, right? Like, last season we had a live event, right? And I think that's pretty all right and pretty unique. But the late game in this, man, they're really going for the hardcore player base, which I think is really good, right? You have the Prophecy Dungeon. It is a 1040 to 1060 light level activity. Pretty much, it's more expansion on what the darkness is, how can we fight the darkness inside the 9 realm, right? And we go to the Drifter and Eris Morn in order to ask questions. It's a very good dungeon. It's probably my second favorite, right behind now I can't think of the name. Man, I'm just forgetting all the names. The Hive one. It's really good. Again, they have challenges this time around that actually give you good rewards. You have solo, you have flawless, and then you have solo flawless, right? Each of those gives you a unique reward. I think solo gives a sparrow, flawless gives a title, or it might be the other way around. And then solo flawless gives, in my opinion, the best ghost shell in the game. It's a little Jade Rabbit bunny ghost shell. It has little ears and everything. It's sick. It is so good. And also you have the Forerunner title, which is up and coming. It's not necessarily gonna come out soon because, again, delayed season, right? So let's go ahead and talk about speculation. Obviously, they have mentioned that the Leviathan is going away, right? There's something that I've really wanted, that's been on my mind, and I think it's been on a lot of people's mind, right? And how are they going to write out Callus? I think what they're going to do is either a short quest or they're going to do another live event, right? Where you can go to Nessus and see Callus's ship fly away, and you can hear him being like, oh, we were such good friends, but I have to deal with family issues, blah, 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 right? And I think that's a really good way to write out Callus, and I think it will really progress the storyline. So, is Season of Arrivals worth it? If you can spare 2 to 3 hours a day at this point, I would say yes, go for it. It's worth the $10. You will get your monies out of it. Seriously. The only major issue that, again, a lot of people can contest, but if you're buying it now, you're not really affected by it. It was a great season plagued by delay, right? There was a lot of really good content to come out of this, but it was just plagued with delays. And it's rather unfortunate. It is rather unfortunate. Thanks for making it to the end, though, guys. I really do appreciate it. You can check out my Twitch at twitch.tv/xbiotv. Link will be in the description below. Hit me with that follow. I'd really appreciate it. Until next time, though, guys, peace.